for him. Woody Dantzler's huge afternoon continues deep into Virginia territory. He's got a chance here as he cuts back, and Woody Dantzler's going to get it done. Another 3rd and long for Dantzler. Plenty of time, has a man. Robinson, touchdown. Clemson has really been in command, with the exception of their 3 turnovers. You want to talk about command? I'll show you who's in command. Woody Dantzler is in command.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Colter. And in the middle today, my host, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And to the far right, we have all ACC. I mean, one of the best college dual quarterbacks in the history of college football. Rushed for 1,000 yards, passed for 2,000.
Come on, now.
53 school records at Clemson University. He go by the name of Woody Tiny Dantzler.
Watch that you now.
What's going on, Woody?
Go watch out now. Woody, what's up?
What's up, you guy?
Oh, not too much. How you getting along?
I can't complain, man. We happy to have you on the show, big guy.
Man, it's good to be on, man.
You know
it's good to be along with cool cats such as yourselves.
They appreciate it, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the ultimate teammates. I'm talking about this adrenaline rush playing with you and Pop Warner, my high school quarterback. We was always in the backfield together. I mean, it was electrifying. I should have sent
you some of that. But I couldn't find nobody to transfer VHS to DVD or to send it over to you.
Yeah, man. Me and Woody go way back. For people that don't know, man, we played together. Now. They don't know about that VHS. We was watching film at 7, you know, critiquing our games. But let everybody know where you from, obviously, for the people that don't know, and give them a little bit of your background.
Well, shoot. Born and raised Auburn, South Carolina, of course, OBG.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Pretty simple, man. Grew up young kid, mom, dad, 2 older sisters. Fun-loving kid. Got the opportunity. Ball gave me an opportunity to go get my education at Clemson University. From there, was able to go to the next level. Played a few years in the league, but now I'm just husband, father, man of God. Just loving life, doing what I can to help others where I can. So that's the quick version. You know, we can dig in as we go through, but that's me in a nutshell. I since I was born, I've been me, and I don't plan on changing.
That's right.
You know that you have everything lined up in life, and you want to make sure that the people around you are good and make sure that everybody's inspired. I know that's one of your main factors, one of your key factors in life, man. You're a big inspiration. It's a ball of inspiration. So let people know how you got started with football, man. I know you had other sports that you played before football. Tell people about
that. Well, before
what age though? What age?
Martial arts. What'd you say?
He said what age?
Yeah, I was saying what age you started playing that.
Oh shoot. I don't even remember what age that was. I know because I started in martial arts. And that was because my mom and dad got tired of me running around the house. Because from then till now, nothing but a whole bunch of energy. You know, I still got a whole bunch of energy. So to try to calm me down and give me something constructive to do, my dad did martial arts.
Active, very active.
Yeah.
Cool. So how many years you participated in martial arts, Woody, before you played football?
I actually did that from probably about age 6, 7. All the way up through high school, off and on, you know, because the guy I trained with, I used to actually go to his house and train with him, you know, every so often. So yeah, I did it. I've done it for a while.
Who was your sensei?
It was James. What is James' last name? I can't think of James. He was the one I used to train with off and on. But then I also trained at I think it was the Kung Fu Temple with Kenny Brown.
Yep.
I was there for a minute.
Oh yeah.
And then went back to James when I don't know what. So I think my dad and Kenny got into it about something, but I just know I wasn't in the class no more. But then also ball, I started playing football. Yep. So that kind of pulled me out of that too. But yeah, I've been doing martial arts for a while.
Yeah. So talk about Pop Warner, man. In those days, man, the electrifying Hillcrest recreation department field, man. We all grew up on, man. I mean, it was legendary, KJ. I'm serious, man. Like, Woody, tell him about it.
Man, it was something interesting, man. I just remember my dad asked me if I wanted to play football. I'm like, yeah, first time getting out there, everything I had was handed down thanks to my cousins. They actually had some equipment and gave to me, and I was able to go out there and play. But I mean, you're actually right. It introduced me to meeting some new people, really getting the understanding of what God was about to take me with this gift called football. So it was fun. I mean, we get out there, you run, and you really see. Matter of fact, I got to see a whole different other side of one of my favorite teachers, Miss Edie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You talking about James Edie mom. Yeah, that was my teammate on the Dolphins. Yeah,
there was exactly. So I saw she would come to school after every game. She would come to school the next day, hoarse, because she would literally yell the entire game.
I remember.
Full tilt.
I remember. Boy, you took me back just now. I can hear her.
Yeah, I mean, the parents were energetic, and I mean, it was fun competition, man. It was too much fun.
So you playing quarterback at the time, or what?
Man, we had shotgun. I mean, we had the simplest offense in the world. It was, I guess you can call it that wing single T, or however they kind of describe it. It would literally be the guy that's getting the ball would line up behind the center, and the other three people to line up to the right side of him. They snap the ball, we run right, we run left.
That's it.
And that was it.
That was it. And then as he got older, he perfected it. It was like the offense that you kept in your playbook every development stage from middle school to high school and on the Clemson. It just seemed like it was the same program, and you mastered it, man. First player.
I'm gonna tell y'all what the best teacher was for me. And everybody played this game. We call it different things. Whoever get the ball, get tackled, last man, whatever you want to call it. In school, throw that, even if it's a piece of paper, whatever it was that ball was, it'll teach you how to move around and get away from people. And so that was one of the best things for me, man. That was just fun.
So talk about some of your middle school coaches. You went in, you left rec league. We went to the All-Stars, won the state championship. I think it was like 88, 89.
Yeah.
Got into middle school. You played quarterback there, Brookdale.
That's when I first started playing quarterback. Yes, because actually we were in Little League. The only time we would throw the ball, I was the one throwing the ball because I guess I was the one who could throw it the farthest. Yep. That's kind of how that works in Little League. But when I got to middle school, James Williams was my coach at Brookdale.
Yep.
So and he was actually the one who told Coach Brown. He said, "Hey, I got your next quarterback." So that was good. But James and him and Papa with the Hardburg Track Club, man. I mean, it's just been, he's been really instrumental in a lot of guys such as myself coming up, getting the opportunity to go places, travel, and show us that there's other ways to live our lives than what was presented on the streets for us. So, James Williams was my coach in middle school. He was the one who let me, as we start getting on the center. And little known fact, I also we were the only middle school team kicking field goals.
Yeah, I forgot. He used to drop kick punts. Drop kick field goals in practice. When we had a field goal unit come on, I used to kick. He'll come in there and drop kick. And I'm like, man, this dude can do everything since we was in middle school. Because he used to win all the it was me, him, and a couple other players. Yep, there you go. Punt, pass, kick. It was always us four, and he always took first, man. He was always stronger. So, big shout out to Woody, man. But talk about going into high school, and who was a player that took you under your wing?
When I got to high school, obviously as a ninth grader, actually that was my 8th grade, going into my senior year, going into the 9th grade, I'd already left middle school. We're getting ready to go, and then that's when James connected with Coach Brown, and that's when we used to go away to Camp Daniels, and going out there, still feel like I'm in middle school, but I'm there with the big boys now, and it was good. But who took me under their wing? Basically, a lot of guys took me, but Eddie, Eddie Schuler, he was the quarterback at the time. David Ray had just left, so I trained a little bit with him. He was pretty instrumental, but Eddie really took me under his wing, showed me the ropes, taught me a lot. Even though when I got there in 9th grade, I played JV, but I also dressed out on Fridays with the football team, so with the varsity team. But it was Eddie who took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, and then also Pat Sharpison, because he was a quarterback as well. Once I got my 10th grade year, they moved him to receiver because I started playing quarterback. But Pat Sharpison taught me a lot too. So Yeah, we had some good solid guys on there.
What was the one thing that Coach Brown added to your discipline when you played for him underneath his era? Like as far as I guess your structure of your offense, how you run your offense, how you throw the ball, how you run the option if need to be. Talk about that a
Coach
little
Brown,
bit.
but a lot of that was Coach Norman too.
Yeah.
Coach Brown would say his little pieces, but Norman was the one who would be like, look, like one of the best lessons he taught me, because when we came there, we started playing, when I got there, he actually switched the whole offense. He don't get a lot of credit for it. We were the first ones, in the state of South Carolina, probably in the Southeast, to do the shotgun no huddle. And that's what Coach Norman did, for the fact of, we were just little. Man, I was bigger than all of my offensive linemen. I was, so he switched that whole game up. And one of the things I remember summer training, he was like, look, with the way we run our offense, I need you to be able to talk when you're tired. So when KJ, when you saw me at Clemson, and I'm always talking and making noise and acting a fool while we conditioning, Coach Norman.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like, what happens if you break a long run to get called back and you got to call a play on the next down? I need you to be able to communicate when you're winded. So that taught me how to do that. And he began to push me and tell me, look, you can't settle for, being with the rest of the team. He said, you got to get to your capabilities. So if I have to push myself past everyone else, I can't just be okay with being with everyone else. I got to be a step above. So he always pushed me to give him everything I had. So that's why, you hit a sudden change call that you got at OW, and all the different things I did. I mean, it's just because I was never settled. I was always looking to be the best I could possibly be. And that's one thing I pushed to instill in kids and everyone that I talk to. Don't settle. Keep pushing, because there's more in you.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir. So you go into your sophomore year, and you end up starting, in high school. That's when we had the stripes on the ball, the yellow stripes. And it was your 10th grade. The bad, yeah. You were out there. You started off in 10th grade. Tell me, how did that feel, starting and not knowing that you were going to start that soon, and then never look back?
It was. I think that was like either the second or third game. We've been going back and forth, because Pat was the starter at that time, because Eddie had graduated, so Pat was a starter, and I remember it was against Airport actually, and came off the bench because we just weren't moving the ball, so coach wanted to do a change, and we ended up winning that game. And from then on, I was a starter, and it was just, I guess with me being so doggone naive, it was just, I'm still out there playing ball, having fun with the kids. I was a little nervous, but once I got in the game and started playing, it just started to roll.
Felt like a little league again.
Yeah.
So, how did you work on your balance, man? You broke a lot of tackles and a lot of difficult runs that you made. I think the karate really paid off for you, because there was a lot of tackles you were supposed to be down. And in high school, a lot of people didn't see it, but in high school, you tackled, and you'll come out of there like a phoenix out the fire, blazing down the sideline. Talk about your work ethic, your workout, and your balance and your discipline as far as your approach to the game.
Yeah, martial arts had a big play in that. Body control, understanding center of gravity. Everyone talks about getting hit and getting hurt, but I knew how to move with the hits. I never got hit really involved, but that was all attributed to that. But then also just doing stuff. When we used to go outside, the stuff that I used to do, who in the world, my friend down the street from me, Dwayne, we would literally, because he had his house right here, and then he had the little carport, and then the carport on the other side, he had the little driveway. So we would literally take the trampoline, put in between the house and the carport, jump off the house onto the trampoline, onto the carport. Yeah, we were crazy.
Hey, tell me about Carlton Stevens flipping off the top of the stadium onto the ground.
Oh, Carlton Stevens was a freak of nature, man. That whole family, man. That dude. It's literally,
yes, it's true.
I remember that time he'd say, stand up against the wall, stand right there, don't move. This joker literally ran up the wall, over my head, and back down the wall. I mean,
like a youth over your head.
Freakish they are. His older brother Nick, but then their youngest brother, I think he's still in the circus. He's been doing stuff with the trapeze. Spencer. Yep. I mean, this family is just, and mom was a track athlete, dad was a track athlete. I mean, it's a family of freaks. But yeah, I mean, that's just the stuff we did, man. I mean, we walking or we get out there, we run to see who can run the fastest, the longest. Yeah. We would see, we would wrestle until, I mean, we would just do crazy stuff. I bet you can't do this. I bet you can't do this. So a lot of that came from playing around and challenging one another. Who knew that it would turn into something to be able to win, you know, understand the momentum, all that stuff, just from playing out in the yard.
Yep. So talk about running track and being a state champion in track too. You know, you got to add that to your resume as well.
Oh, I forgot about track. Yeah, but we had some. We had beasts. Yeah, I pride myself on being faster than the guy trying to catch me, but we literally had some smokers. I mean, you think about, you know, William Graham, Derek Hart, you know, Damian Davis, you know, Kevin Green. You start going down the line. These guys were runners. I mean, when we stepped on the track, I mean, we really, honestly, we were never challenged in South Carolina. That's why, that's Ronald Gohagan, because we were running in relays in Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. You know, I remember actually running against Angelo Taylor in high school, and we all know who Angelo Taylor is. I got to watch this guy run the 400 hurdles, trip over the second hurdle in the match, fall, stand up, straighten up his shirt, run and catch everybody, and win the match. Wow. And I'm sitting there.
For real?
Yes.
I didn't see that on video, man.
Yeah, he wasn't in my heat. He ran later on, but he was 49 in high school, you know, 400 hurdles. And he was 50, and everybody was like 52, because I ran like a 52 in the 400 hurdles. And he was 50. So 2 seconds is almost a lot of distance when you look at it on the track. But it was him and everybody else. But that's one of the things we were able to do, you know, because Gohagan really was the one who changed my stride, because I really never had any knee lift when I first started running. I just could run. And he changed the way I stride and taught me how to do that turnover, and that's what really helped me with my speed. And then being able to get out there and compete with not only the guys that we had on our track team, those track practices were brutal, but then getting out there and, like I said, going to different states, going down to Savannah every year, you know, going down, went down to Disney World for a classic, Tennessee, these different places, you know, North Carolina, we running in different people from across the country. So we really got to see what track was all about. And you know, you either rise to your level of competition or get out the way. And you know, from Orangeburg, we don't get out the way. We're gonna stand up.
Yes, sir.
Using the 400 relay too?
Yeah,
I did the 4x. Actually, my senior, I did the 4. I started off, and that happened one year. He threw Coach Gogo threw me in the 200, and I got out there and I jumped down on him because my start is quick. Yeah, I had a quick start. So when I got out on him, and he was blown away because he never seen me come out of blocks before. I mean, we played around in practice, but I didn't really know how to do it. Yeah. So from there on, he moved me to that first leg in the 4x1, but I was third leg on the 4x4. And then I also, again, I ran the 400 hurdles, but I also threw the discus in there too. So I got to meet a lot of people. Discus. And I'm a bag of
I do it all.
I did in Junior Olympics.
Yep.
Dang.
So, he did. So talk about, you know, the Shrine Bowl experience, man. You went, you know, you're number 1 quarterback. I don't know who else was in the Shrine Bowl.
It was me and Phil Petty.
Exactly. Carolina quarterback and Clemson quarterback.
USC, South Carolina. Yeah, that was an interesting experience, man. I remember I got to meet my future teammate Javis Austin for the first time there.
All right. What's up, Javis?
Again, I keep saying I just go out there. I just go out there and have fun, and that's what it was all about. It was a little different. I got there and I was already labeled the running quarterback. So if I was in that game, I threw 4 passes. I completed 4 passes. Okay. You know, I threw 1 touchdown in that game, and either it was never no drop. It wasn't never a drop back. It was play action or roll out boot naked. So that's what I did in the game. Everything else was quarterback runs, different stuff like that. But they let Phil do a lot of the throwing. But he didn't throw a touchdown in that game. But I ain't said you ain't hear that.
All right. You know what I'm saying? For real. So
it was just interesting, you know, But it was a good
Yeah.
learning experience, and it kind of exposed me to the politics of football and prepared me for what I was getting into once I got to college.
Cool. All right. So
Yeah,
you graduate from Odette. Wait, KJ.
Yeah. So who else recruited you besides Clemson at the time? Who else you were looking for? You know, did you do any research, anything like that?
That's an interesting story. I was getting letters. I was getting calls from different places. But I wasn't that into, like, right now, you know, Rivals wasn't the big, it wasn't all this recruiting stuff, you know, 5-star, 4-star. And honestly, I didn't know about Clemson or Carolina. Only team I really knew about was South Carolina State and Class, because it was in my hometown. But the recruiting thing, I couldn't stand it. Didn't really like the attention. Didn't like people calling me. I mean, I had my phone. I had so many messages of people calling me, asking me, trying to talk to me, and I was like, you know what, man, whatever. And what I ended up getting to Clemson, and I say this, I tell a story all the time, and I saw him comment earlier. Rick Stockstill is why I went to Clemson.
Yeah,
because when he came down,
everybody on the show says that, bro.
That guy, because he showed me what a genuine man is really like. You know, I've seen my dad, you know, I seen him kind of, but to see him come down, didn't know me, you'd have thought he raised me himself the first time he met me. It was just so smooth. He was just so him. And I went to Clemson. I went to play at Rick Stockstill University. It just so happened to be at Clemson. That's what I call it, because if it wasn't for him, I doubt I'd have went to Clemson. I don't know, because I really wasn't into the recruiting like that.
I understand. You probably would have went to State.
I say the same thing here too.
Nah, I had a good friend of mine told me if I came to State, he'd kill me. So I'm not naming no names, but he knows who he is. I'm gonna leave that right there.
All right, cool. So that segue over into who was the player at Clemson that took you under the wing when you first got there, you know?
When I first got, it was two people right off bat. Nealon Green, you know, he was a starter at there, but then also Lorenzo Bromell. Okay, because he played for Coach Brown back in the day. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So that's what that was. So they kind of took me under their wing. You'd be the one, hey, you know, you do the little rookie teasing things. So hey, look, when you get back in the lock, don't watch, grab your stuff, get out of there. You know, get the heads up. But I'm
waste no time. Yeah. Real.
But yeah, they really took me under their wing. They looked out for me. They told me the ropes. They kept me like I won't get myself in trouble anyway. But they made sure I stayed out of trouble. Made sure I knew who to be around, who to watch out for, and some of the pitfalls that a lot of guys run into when you get away from mom and daddy for real. You know, they really kept me straight, because both of them were seniors getting ready to graduate. You know, my first year there last year, and they really took me under the wing and helped me out. But then also, the class that I came in with, we were really a tight-knit group. I mean, all of us. So we really stuck together, and that was another thing that really helped me when I got there.
Cool, man. So going to Clemson and learning the playbook and the system, I know you had Brandon Streeter ahead of you, and you came in, you wore number 11 at first, and then I guess the next year you came in and wore number 1. Talk about when you took over. It seemed like it was the second year again that you was in school, and you took over and ended up becoming a starter, never looked back. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, that was, you know, I'm gonna clear that up, because I started a few games that year only because Brandon got hurt, and just kind of tell his story. You talking about a trooper? Brandon Streeter really showed me what guts was, because when Nealon graduated, he was penciled the starter, you know, and I was behind him. And spring ball, let me make sure I get it right. Spring ball, he dislocates his ankle. Comes back from spring ball, ready to go game 1, and played what we wanted. Then we played, I think it was second or third game, played against North Carolina, fractures his collarbone.
Yep.
And then I'm the starter again. This is 1999, and that's right. He comes back from a fractured collarbone. We're playing Georgia Tech. He dislocates his hip. And then still fought back, pushed himself back, and was able to play in the bowl game. You know, so I got to start that year because Brandon was hurt. And even from the sideline, you can tell that he's such a great coach now because he was a great coach then. You know, even though he was all bandaged up, you know, he was still, hey, Woody, look out for this, Woody, this, you know, taking me on his way, make sure I knew what was going on and help me out. But yeah, that's how I started. It was that following year, 2000, when I became the official starter at Clemson. And those next couple of years is when we started to have fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about you playing Florida State, Bowden Bowl 1. I was at that game, fortunately. It was a tough game. It was a good game. You guys played against the best team in the nation. ACC was very tough during that era. You know, you had Florida State, you had Virginia, the Barber brothers, you had the quarterback Max Schaub, you know, the receiver McCutcheon. You guys had a tough time in that division. So talk about that and some of the toughest opponents that you guys faced in the ACC during that era and the Bowden Bowl 1. Talk about that experience.
Again, it's just one of those things of I was so focused on making sure I was the best I could possibly be for my teammates. You know, I wasn't concerned about the other side. Of course, I mean, some of the guys I just already knew. Like, I mean, let me think, make sure. Yeah, Jamal Reynolds, he was at Florida State. I met him because, again, we both threw the discus, and we played against him at Aiken.
Chris Hope. So,
knew him from there. Got to meet Julius Peppers just because he's just Julius Peppers. Ain't no way you cannot meet him. But guys like that, you just think about that front. Both North Carolina and Florida State, their front seven was out of this world.
Yes, they were.
You know, so and just with that in mind and watching, you know, when you look at guys that are on defense that can run faster than a lot of guys on offense, you know, you got to make sure your game is up to par. So again, for me, it was more so of making sure not to be better than my opponent, but not being that weak link on the chain. I wanted to make sure I held up my bargain for my guys because that was my motivation. You know, even to this day, I remember having a discussion with one of my bosses after ball. I was you know, selling cars, and he always tried to get me motivated by saying, "Hey man, you're not gonna make no money. You're not gonna this." You know, I said, "Let me tell you how to motivate me. Tell me I'm letting my team down. That's how you gonna keep going. Money is money. I'm not concerned about no money like that. You know, I'm gonna sell my car. But if you tell me I'm letting my team down, then the ball game changes. And now all of a sudden I got another gear and it's time for me to go. So that was my motivation. I didn't want to let them down. I want to make sure that when they look into my eyes on game day, when the play was called, when the play was needed to be made, it wasn't a second guess that I was going to be able to make it. I'll get the ball to the person that would make it. I'll make the decision to make sure the play gets made. And that's what I wanted. So the film study was crucial. You know, the conditioning was crucial. And that led to me talking to, like telling this story too. You know, and I share this not just to kind of boost me up, but just one of those things I like to instill in people. When you talk about pushing yourself to the next level, and that thing that Norman instilled in me. I remember having a conversation with with our strength coach, John Sisk at the time, and I was like, the conditioning got too easy. I mean, it was just too easy. So I told him, I said, it's too easy for me. What can we do?
Yes, sir.
And he said, let me think about it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. He came back the next day. He said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're still running the same. So we're still running our 300-yard shells, our hundreds, or whatever we do, whatever condition for that day. So what he said, it's going to be 2 whistles. When I blow the first whistle, the first group the group that I'm running with goes. So when I blow the second whistle, that's when you go. But I still got to make my time. I still got to catch everybody. And, you know, that's what we talk about, pushing yourself to the next level. You never know what's inside of you until you go reach for it. So that was one of the ways I reached for. I let him know that the condition was too easy. Yeah, I can continue making my times, but I'm not being challenged. You know, with condition. And if I'm not being challenged, then I can't be the best I can be for my teammates. So we had that conversation. He came up with the 2 whistle deal. And from then on, it was like, okay. And that's what I take in the rest of my life. I'm always pushing myself to be the best that I can be.
I want to add on that, man. Punishment from coaches for Woody was a joke.
Yeah.
He was always the most, and he would encourage the coach to pour it on for us so we could get better. He knew how much he could take. And I used to be like, yo, dude, like chill. But like it just like I
That
said, it brings something else out of you, man. And everybody that left our school, went to college, said that their conditioning program was nothing compared to our high school.
nothing. No, they couldn't touch Coach Brown. You know,
Even the
all he did was
even
rush
people in the
pass,
army.
run on
Yes.
and fist. You know,
Yes,
one
sir.
night, and that was it. And he throw that crab in just because he could. But yeah,
That's it.
that's what it was. Nothing touched Coach Brown's
Nothing.
condition.
Nothing. So you guys in 2000 went to the Gator Bowl, 2001 Humanitarian Bowl. Talk about those experiences before you went to the NFL.
Well, those are two special experiences. One, because that Gator Bowl, it was interesting. They hyped that up out of the world because it was, you know, they tried to turn it into me versus Vic. Yep. But it wasn't going to be a me versus Vic because both of us had bad ankles that game. I mean, they won the game. It was a pretty decent game, but both of us had bad ankles. Yeah. And I remember the other deal about it. I mean, for some reason, I don't know. I messed around and said something about Vic. Because I said somebody told me something about, and I got a question to ask him when I see him. And every week they came, what's the question? What you gonna ask? I said, well, once I ask him, then and all it was that someone said, you know, they we looked alike. And then they also was saying that during that week, every time he would mess up, they were like, Woody wouldn't have missed that pass, or Woody would have made the right decision, you know, teasing him during the week of practice. So it wasn't nothing serious. It wasn't nothing detrimental. It was just one of those things that it got back to me. I don't remember how it got. Matter of fact, I want to say that Coach Stock still told me that. I don't remember. But it was just one of those things. It was all in fun, but they really, I guess they thought it was some kind of something crazy that they can really turn into a story, but it wasn't nothing that big of a deal. Hey, we look alike and we got teased because they did the same thing to me when we were practicing. Oh, Vic would have made that pass. Mike would have made that. You know, so it's all in fun.
Man, that's crazy, man. I mean, you guys were similar at the time. It was exciting to watch both of y'all because y'all was the first of that kind, you know, during that era and at the top at that time as well. So you leave, you go as a free agent to the Cowboys, man, and you go in the locker room. I know you see Emmitt Smith. Talk about that, bro.
Well, here's just a testament again. Talking back about Coach Norm, keep bringing him up because I remember the first rookie camp we got there, and you know, veterans, especially of his caliber. I mean, he's double digits in the league by this time. They don't really come to those, especially the rookie mini camps. We getting ready to go out. We got on the field. Next, you know, you see him come running out with his, you know, helmet and his cleats, and he's out there taking reps in the rookie mini camp. And I'm sitting here like, wow. And then you even hear some of the coaches, what you doing out here? You don't need to be out here going in. But I mean, he's dressed up, he's getting himself ready for the year. And then you see why he's been so successful, why he was able to be the all-time leader in Russia, why he was able to accomplish what he accomplished, because that joker works. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I really got to step my game up. So and that's what it was. That was my introduction to the NFL, and then just the terminology, getting a hold of that. But once you learn, football is football. It's just like learning a different language. Once you learn the language, you go out there and play. And that's another thing that Coach Brown taught us. He said, if you know the fundamentals of your position, you know, you can play in any offense. You can play with any team, because if you can if you're a linebacker, you know how to read a guard blocking down and step in and fill a hole. No matter what, whatever that defense is called, if you can read a doggone guard, you can read a guard in any scheme. It's just learning the language. And that's what it was in each level, you know, being able to learn the language of Clemson, learn the language of the Dallas Cowboys, learn the language of the Atlanta Falcons. But again, when it boiled down to it, you know, you got one ball, you got 11 guys on both sides of the ball, it's a 100-yard field, you know, 50 yards wide, and you got your, and it is what it is. So it's just a matter of getting and learning the terminology, and then getting out there and letting people know that I'm able to play on this level as well.
Cool. So we're gonna segue into another clip. You made the team. You was on preseason playing a game, and we're gonna go ahead and show everybody, you know, the results of that play. 1 second.
To survive the final cut, a rookie has to make plays, or in the case of Woody Danztler, number 35, trick plays.
Danztler is Woody goes for the former quarterback from
He got 152.1 quarterback rating. He's 1 for 1 touchdown, 11 yards. Woody's a very versatile guy. That's why that was his play. I hope we can find a spot for him on our roster. It remains to be seen because it's going to be close.
That's it, Woody. Nice job, Woody. Nice job, Woody. That's it. Nice job.
Yeah, that's big.
And that was with the glove on.
They start winning the glove after that, huh, Woody? You started that with the glove.
Yeah.
Brady got the one glove.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So talk about that play right there. They designed that especially for you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. We talked about it, but I'm sitting here like, yeah, I ain't gonna run this play. Then when they called it, I was like, okay, let's get it. And I looking at Kenyon. He just like, hey, just get it near me. I said, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna get it. I'll put it right on you. So it was good. It was good because nobody was expecting it.
That's up, man. So you left. You played with the Cowboys some more, and you had one of the best plays in the history of football. You know what I'm saying? We can go ahead and check that out real quick too. All right.
Oh boy.
1 second.
Explosive receiver in the game. He has great hands, great ability. Look at the concentration. Make sure he's got it, and then tap the feet down and make sure you got the touchdown.
But on the ensuing kickoff, hold me closer, tiny Danztler. They're the headlight on the highway. Woodrow, Tiny Dantzler, the former college QB and future tightrope walker in the circus, could go all the way. They took another look. We want to take another look. It was 84 yards of brilliance.
Yeah, you watch along the sideline. It's like the triple jump in the Olympics. He stays on his right foot, obviously stayed in bounds. Great call, and maybe the play of the year.
Here's a guy that
Yes, sir.
They go
you
back
went
to
up-
the karate again.
Yes, sir. He tighten rope it. Looked like an action figure walking down the sideline, man.
Man, it's so many lessons in that one little play, man. Is bananas. One, that was my first game actually playing in the regular season because I was on the practice squad and they actually called me up for that game, just to return kick. So that was beautiful. And the first time I stepped on the field, not the first actual play, but the first time playing in a NFL game in the regular season, to score a touchdown. And on top of that, I don't know if you were paying attention, the wedge was the return was actually set up to go to the left. I went the wrong way.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw it. I knew I was to the left, but
he ran into somebody, so he had to turn around.
We had rerun it a couple of times, and if you get to looking out, that's where that quarterback comes in to see the whole field. Once I caught the ball, I look up and I'm seeing they were reading out returns. So everybody I saw was knifing to the left. We'll be there right, but my left. So I thought I saw a crack backside, and I went to cut to it, and it disappeared. And it was one of those things. I don't know, a lot of people who know Joe Arizona was our special teams coach. He could destroy you in a meeting when film study.
Yeah.
So at that moment, believe it or not, at that moment, all I was thinking about, I got to get a few more yards so he don't yell at me as bad. He's going to cuss me out, but I want to get a few more yards.
Man.
That bad. And when I got over to the sideline after the play, he says, he looks at me with only way he can look at people and said, he asked me, he said, do you know what side it's supposed to go to? I'm like, yes, sir. Great job. I mean, honestly, what could you say to that? But still, that's what was going on in my head. And, guys started bouncing off. And once you saw that kicker, that's a cardinal sin. You never get tackled by the kicker. And
I saw you tip on that guy. That was him.
Don't let that happen.
It was a tap. You were like, I was like, that was Derrick Henry right there. But they moved you to safety later that season, didn't they?
They moved me to safety when I came back because I left there after.
Come on, Woody.
Then I went to Atlanta for 2 years. And when they brought me back as a safety and sent me on to NFL Europe, it was absolutely terrible. I don't have no defensive mindset. But at that time, I mean, I wish, somebody actually told me, you need to. I remember talking to Steve Smith at the time. He was telling me, you need to go ahead and let them know who you are, what you want to be. And, I wish I could have done better at that. But, going to defense, if I was on stayed on offense, it would have been different. But moving on defense, I wanted to be that team player. I wasn't ball really. It was just one of those things that I'm sure I could be a team player. Let me go out here and see. But nah, that wasn't my cup of tea. I mean, I was able to do okay. I would not say I was the best, but
look at Woody trying to tackle somebody, man. That's like
I'm trying to make sure people don't hit me. I'm definitely not gonna hit nobody. That's not in my DNA. I leave that to UKJ. I ain't hitting nobody.
I do it.
Hey, but y'all don't know though. He used to play both sides of the ball when he was coming up, and he would hit you, but he been away from
in Little League. Yeah, I'll tear you up.
Yeah. Now, hey, strictly quarterback. He just got spoiled with that quarterback.
Yeah, I remember a couple of times. I'm gonna go ahead and toot your horn. He got off, and look, Jermaine got off on us because my undisciplined behind wouldn't stay home. Next, you see this little dolphin joker running down the sideline. But I did get you though.
Hey, that was you. That wasn't you. I had a punt return on y'all. I had 2 touchdowns that game. We beat y'all one time, but every year we played against each other in the championship. And y'all would beat us about 14 or 7 points. I mean, it was you and Jackie, and y'all ended up going to Clemson. What could I do,
Hey. Oh, Jack Rob. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So talk about Clemson, man. You go ahead, KJ.
But I want to talk about the run of football, man, because I know you played with Chicago Rush. I don't know who you played for, but I know it's a difference between the NFL and a run of football.
Yeah. Only big difference there again, the field is smaller, less men are on the field. I mean, slight. Yeah. I mean, you gotta have different rules. I mean, but for the most part, it's still football, man. And at that point in my career, I was really out there. I was having too much fun. That is probably the most fun I ever had playing for. It was just had a great group of guys, and we just had fun. Literally get out there and have fun and cut up, act the fool. And I mean, we worked hard. We made sure we knew what we were doing, but I mean, we actually had. I mean, that was some fun times for me playing ball. I was on a different plane at that moment too.
They had a good receiver there at the time who was there too. I can't remember his name.
Which one? Probably Bobby Scipio.
That's it. Yeah, bad boy. Woo.
Yeah,
he made it to the league too, right?
Huh?
Did he make it to the NFL?
I don't think. No, he didn't make it. He didn't make it to the league, but he was dynamic. He was one of those boys. He get out there. I mean, you can't guard him. Once he get in his zone, it's over with. We had me and him had a running tally every game. So our first thing, because we were those guys. So yeah, he's gonna score all the points because he's that guy. But all right, the first one to block our man over the rails, the other guy got to pay for dinner. That was our running tab. Like I said, we took pride in everything. I'm gonna be the best blocker. I'm gonna get in the ball, I'll make sure I'm doing my. And that's just how we work. But yeah, Bobby was that guy. Yeah. He was that guy.
So what was it like playing? What was it like playing with Vic after you played against him? I saw you on the 2-yard line. You did the quarterback keeper against the Carolina Panthers when Deveron was playing for the Panthers at the time. I was there.
That was me. My first year there, though, when I got there, he sat out that year because I think he broke his foot. So he was out that year, and Brad Johnson was the QB. When he came back my second year, he was there. I remember that's when they moved me to receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I didn't get mad at him, but I threw the ball at him, tried to take his head off. I tried to pay him back because he ran a bootleg, and I was dragging across the field, and he threw the ball to me, and I caught it. But literally, I'm telling you, he was probably about, I'd say 12 yards maybe. I was 12 yards from him. When he threw the ball, I caught it. My hands instantly went numb.
What?
And I mean, because he had that sucker he had a cannon. He has a cannon. So when he flicked that ball and he's on the run, rolling out left too, he just flicked it my way, and I caught it because I was coming, and my hands instantly went numb. So I threw the ball at him, told him, "What's wrong with you? You had to throw the ball that hard." But he really did. He just kind of flicked the ball at him. But that's just that was Mike. He just had that. He had that cannon of an arm and that flick, that left-handed turn, that different spin.
Yeah,
but, great playing because again, he's a competitor too.
Did you guys ever race in practice?
No, we didn't. I probably would have taken him down. No, I don't know. as long as there's no documentation that we never done it, I can say I won, I would beat him until we have to actually do it. So like that's like what was that day? I remember it was at Clemson. Backing up a little bit. Now we know Aries, Curry, and Ty Hill.
Yeah.
Us burners. And we've been talking about it all year. Who's the fastest? Matter of fact, I got on Aries because in the North Carolina State game, the same guy that ran him down and caught him and tackled him was the same guy I outran on an angle for a touchdown. So we were going back and forth on who's the fastest. So one day after practice, we all lined up on the line. It was me, Ty, and it was Aries. We getting ready to go. It was like, when Mark gets set, go. They took off, and I walked to the right.
Just them two run.
Let them two go. Look here. Hey, as long as
make me look bad,
set them up.
I can always say you can't beat me.
There you go, man. So, you got anybody you want to shout out before we head out today, man? I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate you coming on, man.
This was a good one.
I always shout out my wife who left me. Two knucklehead kids. While she haven't nah. She went out with her friends. One of her friends' birthday was this weekend, so she wanted to go. They went down to Florida. They're having a good time. So it's just me and bonding time with my two girls, especially with my oldest. She's getting ready to leave me. Try not to cry.
Oh man,
but she's about to take off. She's getting down to Florida.
Cry, man.
Yeah, I know. She's going to go to Florida and
Word. Willie Simmons. Okay.
Yeah, but we was down there the other week. We did a campus tour, and Willie actually showed up and took us around campus and introduced us to some people. So,
what's up, Willie?
What's going on, Willie?
Yeah. Oh my God. And actually, I even say this too, because I talked about Brandon being my coach. Willie Simmons was my coach in college. When I got off the field, I would walk to Willie, and he would tell me, "Hey, look out for this, do this." Everyone remembers that you. And I'll give you an example. The Georgia Tech game, I was actually coming up the sideline. He was right before that last play when McKelvey caught the touchdown.
Oh yeah, in Atlanta. Yeah.
He said, "Look, early right before we went out, he said, hey, just keep your head up, because once you look like you're gonna run, they're taking it out and they're coming to get you. So just keep your head up. You probably gonna have a shot downfield." And that's exactly what happened. And I didn't even really run. I just kind of stepped to the side like I was about to run. And everybody turned on, the guy turned around, JJ got behind him, threw the ball up there, touchdown. But I mean, there were so many different circumstances like that where Willie had told me, "Hey, look out for this. Hey, this is what they're doing. This, when you see this, make sure you do this." Then I go pick up the phone and talk to Coach Rod up in the Willie was my guy. He was my coach. So I always definitely want to give him a shout out.
Big shout out to Willie Simmons, man. We get him on the show one day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Much love, Mr. Stockton.
Rod Gardner too, man.
Huh?
Talk about that. Talk about that pass.
One time before, kind of similar.
They call it the catch.
Yeah, the catch, man.
They call it the push off. They call it the whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was just one of those things. I remember coming back from this after he called that play, and I just remember hearing, Rod looked at me and he took his arms. He said, "Look, he did this." He said, "You put it anywhere here, I'm gonna catch it." He was, and I remember because later on I ran into Coach Strong, Charlie Strong. He was a defensive coach for South Carolina at that time, and he looked at me and said, "Man, hey, how you doing? You almost got me fired." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because he said during the game, he said after that play happened where Rod caught that ball, he said he went over. I forgot the name of who the DB was. He said, "I went on and I asked him, why'd you let him get behind you?" And he said, the DB looked at him and said, "Well, I didn't think he could throw it that far." He said it took everything in him not to put his hands around his throat, because if he knew he did that, he would get fired on the spot. So that's what he's talking about. I always got him fired. But yeah, that was just one of those iconic plays. I actually remember when that happened going down, and when they scored the touchdown, because they fumbled the ball, popped in the end zone, they fell on it, they went up, and it's like, really no time left on the clock. And I remember just sitting there, it's like this overwhelming calm came over me, like, we're not going to lose this game. And that's what I'm saying to myself. And then I turned, I just remember looking, I think the first person I saw Kyle Young, he's my center, and I saw Will, TJ, and I'm looking at him, and I didn't say a word. And who said TJ Watkins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I look at them, and I remember Kyle and Will, they just kind of looked at me and they nodded like they knew exactly what was going on in my head. And then I walked over and I looked at Trav, T-Zac. That's my partner right there.
Yeah.
I looked at him. He said, let's do it.
T-Zac.
Again, I didn't say a word. And I looked at him. He said, let's do it then. I said, oh, shoot, let's go.
All right.
And we took the field, and it was just one of those things, time ticking off the clock. And we ended up winning that game after that pass. And I never saw the kick because
the field goal.
I never saw that field goal because I knew Aaron made it. I already knew he was gonna make it anyway. I knew he was gonna make it, but I was already in the locker room. When it lined up before they snapped the ball, I was
still out there looking.
Yeah, I knew they were gonna kick, and once he made it, it was gonna be pandemonium. And I don't like being around a bunch of people, so I said I'm going in the locker room. Yeah. So by the time everybody came in, I didn't wash, I got my clothes on, I'm ready to go.
He got his sweats on ready to interview.
yeah, I'm ready to go.
That's what's up, man. KJ, you want to add anything or ask anything, man, before we head out?
Oh man, man, Woody, you did a good job, man. I'm glad you came on. To kind of give me another angle, on how you got to where you at now. That's big, man. So just keep on doing what you're doing. I see what you're doing outside of football. You're doing big things, man. It mean a lot to me.
Yes, sir.
To a lot of us, especially as men,
And
just
that's
to keep
going,
drive, never give up, man. Because I was that type too, man. I just want to finish, man. Get the job done, move on to something next. Move on to something better.
One of the best things I've heard that I like to stick to, especially now as a husband and as a father. Love you too, Coach. You are the man. Coach. You are the absolute man. Forever love for you. What do you do when losing is not an option? You got one. What do you do when quitting is not an option? What's left but to win? What's left but to succeed? It's just a matter of us making the choice to do what's necessary to go through the process to push ourselves the way we see ourselves to be. And it can be it's tough, it's grueling, it's hard, but now I got a wife and I got 2 girls depending on me. So, lose is not an option. Not make it is not an option. Not being able to get things is not an option because now it's not just me, it's them. Now what they gonna do? So you just gotta go. We gotta find that why. We gotta go get it. That same grind that we have in the football field. We run those 18-110s and in that orange weather, that Colter and Eaton Clemson. We got
all that stuff, man.
We gotta go. So when we make up in our minds that we're able and we begin to do what's necessary to get stuff done. So many people talk about, that's the thing. I think Eric Thomas said this. He said, focusing on the solution is the answer to the problem. If you look at our world today, everyone is so focused on the issues and we get stuck talking about the issues. So as long as I talk about what's wrong and the issues in my life, why I can't do something, I never realize how I can't do it. So just taking that mindset, okay, I understand, well, this is not working. So what can I do? What options do I have? Whatever I can control, that's what I control. If it's outside of my control, I'm letting it go. It's not going to occupy my time because now that's wasted time. So for me, I'm focused on what I can control, what I can handle, and what I can do, and I'm going to push from there, and I'm going to make it happen with that. So that's just me.
All right. Well said. So let everybody know where they can follow you at on social media. I know you have platforms that you do your motivational speaking. Go ahead and drop those links for us.
Let me see. What are they? Shoot. I got. You can find me on. I think it was Facebook. Facebook, you can just find me Woodrow Dantzler. I have both my personal page and my business page, which are both simply there's the same content. I think Twitter is at Dantzler3. That's I. And then Instagram is Woody Dantzler I. So that's where I'm at. So that's you can find me. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. So you can find me Woodrow Dantzler on LinkedIn. But, anyone's looking, I'm actually starting to gear up right now, get myself back out there. With COVID just hit and kind of took a sting with the speaking, but I'm wrapping that bug back up. So if you're looking for someone to speak, if it's a youth group, if it's your church, is it your business, I really want people to recognize what's on the inside of them and help them map out a plan to unlock it and walk in it for the rest of their life. So you can find me at info@dantzler3.com. That's info, and that's Dantzler, my last name, and then I.com. So info@dantzler3.com. Let's get linked up, get these people on the path to greatness.
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man, you might have thought I wrote that down. I might need to write that down so I can say it again.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Yeah.
I like that one.
That's what's up, man.
I like that, man.
Yes, sir. You guys have tuned into another edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Colter. And in the middle, my co-host, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And today we like to thank special guest, former Clemson quarterback, Dallas Cowboy, and Atlanta Falcon, Woodrow Dantzler III. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, my brother. I'm gonna say the same thing to me, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing too, because the way y'all highlighting guys such as myself, giving us another platform to talk on, to really get to your audience and inspire the next generation. Like I say, all it takes is one. You never know who's gonna be that next president. You never know who's gonna be the next person to do a breakthrough research and cure cancer. You don't know who you're talking to. So giving us an opportunity to come on here and just what you guys are doing, with the words that you share and the things that you're doing in the community, man. I mean, it's big. And that's what we need right now. Everyone want to point to the negative, but the positive you guys are doing, man, never quit. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it. Also subscribe to us on Also subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Deezer. Until the next time, you guys be safe, wear your mask, and hey, it's not how you start.
It's not how you start.
It's how you finish.
It's how you finish.
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right. Until next time, we see you later. Be safe. Peace.
Yeah.